It's Kate from Venison for dinner. Family of 8. I need 2 hands for that. Family of 8 who cooks most of our food from scratch. We got some kitchen prep to do today. Marius is taking kids to go, where are they going? To do some fun errands, like fill propane tanks and bring garbage to the dump. Mac is working, so he's got the other 5 kids, and you and me, we're gonna see how much kitchen work we can slay while we're not being hassled by small children who need our help. So we have goals. We have a list, and I'm gonna read it to you. So at the end, we can laugh about what I didn't get done, because the list is always more ambitious. Okay, I need to get meat out for the next few days and make a meal plan. I need to freeze tomatoes that I have in the fridge. I need to freeze raspberries that I have in the fridge, and I need to make some apple scrap vinegar from the apples I have in the basement. I have jam that didn't seal, so we're gonna make a jam Danish. I need to make cookie dough, because I like to have just cookie dough in the fridge or the freezer, because I don't think you need to have justifications to have cookie doughs. So we actually have cookies. Let me show you something. I have wanted a handmade pottery cookie jar for a year or 2, and I was determined to find one at the thrift store. Maybe it's technically a rum pot, but honestly, that just makes us laugh harder. So this right now, oh, they've been into this. This has my spelt oatmeal cookies. What's up, Pam? It's an ugly one.
Do you know what the like gray garbage can is?
No idea. This is our most common cookie that we make. It's 100% fresh ground spelt flour and rolled oats, which makes it nice and nutty, delicious. Sometimes I add chocolate chips, but the baby can't eat chocolate. So, not that he eats many cookies, but. Also, have you seen the price of chocolate chips? And cocoa? Y'all. Okay, we got a little sidetracked. Okay, I need to grind a bunch of wheat because if I'm gonna make cookies, well, I need to grind spelt for cookies. And I wanna make some muffin mixes. Right now, we're in a bit of a heat wave. It's super cold at night, like it's 6 degrees Celsius, 42 degrees Fahrenheit at night, but then it's like 30 degrees Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit during the day. So like, we're having weather whiplash. So I can only bake first thing in the morning, like 6 or 7 a.m. or after 8 o'clock at night. So at those points in the day, I don't really feel like doing a bunch of baking, but that's the only time that I can do the baking. So that's why I like to have cookie dough. That's why muffin mixes, just to make it a little easier to keep ourselves in baking. I was debating making raspberry streusel muffins, but I think I really just need to wait and do that this evening. So I actually feel like that list is not that bad. There we go. I'm actually filming 2 videos today. I already filmed milking. I'm still wearing the same sweater. I still have the same jeans that maybe have blood on them from giving an IV, but we're about to make them dirty or baking, so why change now, right? Why change now? Okay. Obviously, there's always other little tiddly things that come up. But let's get on it. Oh, I think my mother-in-law is stopping by and I have broccoli for her. So I should just grab out that broccoli so I remember, or I'll text her. Let us start, friends, by getting meat out because we need a dinner plan. Let's go down to the creepy basement. I have no meat out for tonight, which means that tonight's meat needs to be a fast thawing thing. Also, I just use a fridge drawer because we killed like 4 used fridges in the last year, so I kept some of the drawers. I think this is actually from the freezer. Anyways, we let the meat thaw a bit and then we put it in the fridge, and then I have multiple meats that I can just pull from without worrying about having meat out because I don't have any meat out. It actually feels like nice and organized down here. Good job, children, because that was not me. I grabbed out sausage that our butcher made us from our own meat. This is chorizo. I'm gonna make a pasta dish with that for dinner tonight. Moose stir fry meat. make a stir fry of sorts. Some chicken legs to slow cook. And then ground beef. I feel like you just always get out ground beef or ground moose or ground venison because there's always ground meat in the freezer. Tonight is Wednesday, and I think Friday we have company for dinner. But they're driving a long distance from, is MN Minnesota? What state is that? To Alaska. And they're spending the night here in that travels. And I think we're gonna serve them fish, but fish thaws fast. So we'll know the morning of that they're coming to our house that day, and we can just take fish out. We picked apples at a friend's. I've already made a bunch of apple pie filling. I've been feeding it to the animals. They're small apples. They are not keeper apples. So these little red ones are the tastiest ones. So I'm going to use a bunch of these to make an apple scrap vinegar. And yeah, we have piles of apples. I'm feeding them out to the cows and pigs every day. You just get to see all the corners of our basement today. Anyhow, we've been picking these friends' apples for years. They have like 20 mid-sized trees, hit and miss on how many apples we get off of them and how big they are. But they're not keepers. But the deal is we have to pick the whole orchard. If we want the apples, we have to pick the whole orchard. So we just feed a bunch to livestock. Sometimes I'll steam juice them and make stuff. I don't really feel like doing that this year. So I did apple pie filling, and then we have the 4 pigs and the cows who are just loving them. But we're gonna make some apple scrap vinegar because I need apple cider vinegar. I have no recipe for you on the sausage pasta dish, but basically you brown onions and sausage, like sausage meat, so you can like take it out of the casings, or you maybe have loose sausage meat. Is someone coming or going? Well, it's Marius actually just leaving now. Brown it with onions and garlic. Add broth and milk. I have no idea how much. A liter? I don't measure. Once that liquid's hot, add in your pasta, stir it as it cooks, add more liquid if needed. You want to get it to the point that there's like still a bit of, like a little bit excess liquid, but like the pasta starches thicken that liquid too. And the pasta's like just about done. Then you take it off the heat, stir in cheese, put the lid on, let it sit for 10 minutes. I mean, like salt and pepper or whatever. It's a 1-pot pasta dish that our crew loves. Let's make ourselves a meal plan to take to the fridge. Okay, I wrote down breakfast, but then I didn't actually plan breakfast, because breakfast honestly is just what I feel like doing. Sausage pasta tonight. Then I got moose stir fry meat. We're gonna make a moose and broccoli stir fry, probably with like stir fry noodles. Friday, fish and chips. Saturday, we're teaching a workshop. And then we might go to a local farm food truck that we love. Sunday, I'm gonna slow cook those chicken legs and cook rice. I need to figure out a Sunday lunch, but I can figure that out like Friday or Saturday. Because we need to have lunch figured before we go to church, because we get home just in time for lunch. Okay, so we already got meat out and we made a meal plan. 2 things crossed off. Let's freeze things. Actually, let's get wheat grinding while we freeze things. I've been making those spelt oatmeal cookies recently, but I was thinking on making peanut butter cookies. When I get tired of making butter, you can tell because I start freezing butter in tubs versus weighing and shaping out. So I have just a tub of butter. I did use some out of it this morning. Also, I dropped it when I took it out of the freezer, so this container is broken. Super fun. Anyhow, there's probably 1.5 pounds of butter in here, maybe less. We're gonna weigh it, figure that out, and then look for a peanut butter cookie recipe with fresh ground wheat. Marius made lemon fermented honey. This recipe is on venisonfordinner.com. It's got, I think he put ginger in these too, cinnamon sticks, hot pepper. It doesn't make it spicy, it just adds warmth. Yeah, he did put ginger. And they ferment, and these are done fermenting now because they're no longer needing to be burped. So these are gonna get moved to our cool room. We wiped them clean. They get kind of sticky when you do them. Wiped them clean and they're ready to be moved. He just wanted to confirm that they really were done before he moved them. Moved my Rosemary Gladstar books to his section of the bookshelf, and I'm okay with this. Anyways, make your own fruit scrap vinegar. We need 1 pound of fruit scraps, and I'm just going to dice up these apples as my scraps. 1 cup of sugar of any kind, 2 quarts of preferably unchlorinated water, so I'm getting water from the Berkey. Oh, it's saying 1/2 cup of unpasteurized raw apple cider vinegar or other vinegar, Mother, but you don't need to. It'll do it on its own without that. Basically, just put it in a jar, cover with water. Stir with a spoon once a day for the first 5 or 6 days, because most liquid ferments like this need some oxygen into the mix, like when you're making mead or something. Cover the jar with a piece of unbleached cotton or a coffee filter with an elastic. We're not fancy. Just to keep the fruit flies out. And then put it somewhere warm for a couple of weeks. Then you strain the scraps. And then you leave it to age longer for the acidity to be better. My plan is I'm gonna do it in a bucket. And then at the point where you strain out the scraps, then I'll put it into jars to continue doing its thing, because that feels easier than doing a bunch of different jars. So that's our plan for the vinegar. Then this cookbook, you can find her blog, Grains in Small Places, and she has like all her recipes there, but I love the convenience of a book. And I want to see what she has for cookies. Peanut butter kiss cookies. Okay, we could just not use the chocolate kisses. And she even uses spelt. 2.5 cups of spelt flour, 1 cup of butter, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, 2 eggs, tablespoon of vanilla, baking soda, salt. There's a lot of rambling in today's video. I'm sorry, not sorry. Weigh out our spelt. We're just gonna weigh out how much spelt we need so that we can just grind it right into our bowl. How little grain that felt like. Lots of flour. Also, all this lard on my fingers, I feel like I should just like moisturize myself. I think my mother-in-law might be here. I have to confess something to you. Maybe my mother-in-law isn't here. Okay, here's my confession. I'm using regular sugar, not organic cane sugar, because I went to the grocery store and they just don't have it. Like, it's not like it's out of stock. It's just like where it used to be is just gone. And the only other option is to buy tiny little bags for astronomical prices. So I bought the not organic cane sugar. Who even am I? Anyhow, actually I didn't even buy it. We had it for bees because the bees can't have organic cane sugar. They need the bleached sugar because the organic cane sugar has too many like minerals and such in it that actually will kill your bees. And hummingbirds. If you feed hummingbirds that, you'll kill them. I wondered why the hummingbirds stopped coming around. Anyhow, Marius had bee sugar, but then thankfully a friend is going to Costco and she's gonna get me a bunch of organic cane sugar. There we go. I feel like most people would like make a single batch the first time they make something, right? Like, it says it makes 36 cookies and I'm tripling it. But I'm just a full send kind of person. How do you find your limits if you don't push them? I've been like this since I was a child. I was a treat to raise. Treat to be married to. Thankfully, my pushing limits these days mostly is like, how much cookie dough can I fit in a bowl? How much bread dough before it overflows? Okay, coffee break. Okay, a bit more of a detour than we planned. Right when my mother-in-law got here, then everybody else got here. Now we have the baby down for a nap. People are doing things. Okay, we're gonna finish this. So if you've ever had farm fresh eggs where your children collect eggs, you know it's best to usually, unless you want to risk this, crack your eggs into something else. Just in case you get a chicken and egg. I think these ones are fine, but we use the bottom drawer of our oven to put our eggshells in. They dry out in there and then Marius blends them and feeds them back to the chickens. We have had issues with egg eaters, so this is his preferred method to do it. And he does it, we just have to put them there and then he does the rest of it, so it's good. What's up, Hamish? The feed shed needs to be cleaned out. Like garbage, swept, feed organized, and then closed so animals aren't getting in there. Buckets organized. I want a good job. Okay? That broom needs to come inside and be like swept off a bit before it comes back inside. It can't be gross. I'm a math person. I love math. Math is so fun for me. Okay, so here's a fun math. One of these containers of cookie dough makes 2 trays of cookies, and 2 trays of cookies fits in my cookie jar nicely, which is like, it's like 25 cookies, 26 cookies, I think. Anyways. Pardon me? What's that? Anyways, it's a lovely amount to have some fresh cookies without it feeling like you're at the oven baking cookies forever. Because I don't like that. I don't like having to deal with a bazillion cookies at once. Much rather just bake a couple trays and be done. So I'm just gonna cover this bowl and leave it to bake later. Freeze these other containers. This cookie dough is delicious. This is diaper cover material, PUL. And then I make it like this with the cotton. So that how I find it's best to do is you serge the 2 together and then sew to have a sleeve for the elastic. And then I just cut a tiny hole in that little sleeve, elastic in, and then just sew that little cut back together. So I have them in multiple sizes. Actually, this one is just double layer cotton for my ginger bug. But it's nice to have a...
You made those?
I made that, yeah.
Army knife aren't allowed for Amos.
Amos Moses, put away that Swiss Army knife. So we're clear, his middle name is not actually Moses. We just call him Amos Moses. Because Amos Moses was a Cajun. He lived by himself in a swamp. Hunted alligators for a living. Just knock him in the head and could stomp. Just wash dishes as you go if they're easy ones to wash. Just makes life easier. Okay, so we have made cookie dough. This needs to go in the freezer. make muffin mixes and the apple cider vinegar, and then we'll see if we abandon the jam cookie. Sorry, the jam Danish. Okay, Rowan, can you put these in the upright freezer in the mudroom? Amos, close up that Swiss Army knife or it gets taken away. Go put them in the mudroom. You probably can only take 1 or 2 at a time. Amos, why don't you carry this one for her? Go put this cookie dough in the freezer. I can take that for you. There you go.
Cookie dough bowl.
Yeah, cookie dough bowl. And recipe, yes I do.
What's that?
I haven't launched this publicly yet. This is so far just an insider's thing, but it's a recipe book that you write in your own recipes. You can print it yourself. You can get it printed. That's the chai. I need the muffins. What? This is my, nope, this is my berry muffin. Perfect. Because I do have an applesauce version too. Frischkant wheat. Okay. We're gonna do the wheat, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt. And it may not seem like that's a huge time saver, but it is. I've never bought a packaged mix before. Okay, one time when I had to have Hamish in a big city and I was staying in my stepdad's house that he had in this city that like it was not very well stocked because he was hardly there and he rented out part of the house, and I wanted to just bake some muffins with Mac and I bought a muffin mix, and that is the only time I've ever bought a mix. I make everything from scratch. I don't see why mixes are, except for gluten-free things. Okay, I lie. I bought a gluten-free mix a couple times. Gluten-free baking is a whole different can of worms. Anyways, now I know how to do it myself, but we're just gonna get our ingredients out so they're ready to measure it all. Flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt. I love these 4 jars funnel sets. There's 2 funnels, wide mouth and small mouth. And then this handy dandy notebook fits on top. Sorry, that was a Blue's Clues reference. I don't think my children know what Blue's Clues is because Hamish is looking at me like, okay. So handy for straining straight into jars. Love it. Now we label. Okay, I'm gonna put these downstairs in our grocery store in the basement because my drawer where I keep baking stuff is full and these are heavy, and I get in trouble when I overload things and break drawers because apparently he can only fix them so many times where they're not fixable anymore. Should almost like just blitz these in the food processor. Looking at how much volume wise a pound of these cut up is ridiculous, and I'm not using that much. I'm gonna use half a pound. So I'm gonna use 100 grams of fruit per liter of water. I have 3.5 liters because I think that's what's gonna fit in here nicely. And also a cup of sugar is way more sugar than any other recipe I've ever used. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna make up our own recipe because recipe books are just inspiration. 12 liters means I need 600 grams of sugar, which is about 3 cups.
Start tidying the yard
Yep. Are we gonna?
up. Cup holder in my tractor's.
I'm gonna cover it in the net here. And now it's time to make some lunch. We have definitely abandoned making jam Danish for now. That's okay.
Did you freeze that
Yeah.
for me?
You need some right now too.
I'm gonna make a carboy of rhubarb,
Yeah.
rhubarb raspberry.
I definitely froze them all.
Okay, where I need like 5 pounds.
Yeah, on it. They're in multiple freezers, meat freezer. You have a bunch here too.
Where?
Right here.
What you're using?
I know I'm not going to use them all. That's all I'm using of that.
Okay.
I'm the queen of reusing dishes where I can. This cut apples. You bet it can just cut the nectarines now. I love to add clabber. It's a good raw fermented milk. Like kefir, but not so weird. That I'm editing too. What's up?
Rhubarb raspberry we did?
Yeah.
It was the first one I ever recorded.
That's good.
Just fine.
Yeah, but that's only a gallon.
Yeah, I believe that was it.
You did make a big batch at some
I
point.
can't find it.
Had all those bottles of it.
Mhm.
And you didn't like it, so we tucked it away. A bunch got given to Mom because you didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then a year later you tried it and we're like, oh dang.
4.5 liters of water.
I'm blending.
The gate? No. The other end where our fence goes to the new fence. There's no fence.
I know spelt is supposed to be all healthy and all, but makes really good cookies. And then I made raspberry muffins. I didn't end up making them raspberry streusel because I just didn't feel like it. Anyhow, now we have an easy breakfast. And obviously the cookies have already been got into. But there we go. I baked the peanut butter cookies. They turned out delicious. I think spelt flour is my favorite cookie flour.